All right, so the topics are very interesting. Up next, we have a panel discussion on sustainability, the only way to save future. And if we want to save future for ourselves and our generation next, I think this conversation is going to help you all. So we have Dr. Anurag Batra, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, BW Business World and Exchange for Media Group. He is going to be leading this session. We also have Ms. Ruchi Rastogi, Founder Director, Hunar Foundation. We also have Mr. Saurabh Bardhan, Founder Green Bandhu and co-founder Ardima Technologies. With that, we also have Ms. Mariam Khatri, Global Sustainability Head, Adidas. We have Mr. A.S. Mehta, President, Indian Paper Manufacturers Association and President Director, JK Paper. So let's welcome you all and let's
We also have
start
Mr. Sudhir Mishra, who was originally supposed to moderate this session. He's the founder of Trust Legal and he's a big environment rights activist. Because he's a big environment rights activist, he's in a lot of demand today. He has multiple events to go to. So we'll get
Mr. Sudhir Mishra.
And let me say to Mariam, I know you're not the global sustainability head. We made that mistake in the poster also, but maybe in near future you will be. So we are just being futuristic. But we know you're based in London, and so you are the lead on sustainability from there. I'll get Mr. Sudhir Mishra to come in. The topic of this session is that sustainability is not a choice, it's an imperative. It is an imperative to make sure that the planet is better, the lives that we live are better. So it's not a choice, it's an imperative. Mr. Mishra, first you, and then I'll get each one of the panelists.
I have been practicing environmental law for 20 years. And we are a firm which primarily works with all the leading government agencies as well as private agencies. And we have a different take on the entire sustainability debate. Just before COVID became a part of our life, I was in the World Plastic Congress in Italy in the third week of February. And the whole country, the entire India was talking about how to reduce plastics. I think if you remember, the debate was so acute that in October, it was expected that the Prime Minister will talk about a reduction of plastic, maybe announce a complete ban or something. Sustainability has gone to different challenges in India. I have said it in the morning panel, but for my co-panelist, I'll say that if you talk about the forest and wildlife and the indicator species, I don't think any other country has seen the kind of success we have seen. We have gone on a huge forest cover. We have also got an amazing tiger population. But if you talk about the challenges to the infrastructure development and the kind of population we have, and how do we balance the need of this population with protecting our environment is a huge challenge for this country. Having said that, let me tell you that I'm very happy that we have representation from paper, we have representation from a lot of industry. And my own feeling is that even if COVID has come as a crisis, as a dampener to our sustainability efforts, where we were debating how do we reduce plastic, how do we do more Swachhata, we should not lose the goals of clean water, clean air, clean way of packaging and other stuff. And that debate will come back maybe another 4 to 5 months, which is just being postponed on account of the entire COVID crisis. But I just want to say 2-3 things here, that National Green Tribunal and the forest benches and the different high courts in the country are still hearing critical matters which compromise environmental sustainability. They haven't stopped because of the health crisis which the country is seeing, which is unheard of in the entire world. If I can tell you 4 or 5 big matters which are being fought, whether that they talk about the air index, whether they talk about the LG crisis which happened, or they talk about the forest areas where a plant was supposed to come up, or a road going through a national park or a wildlife sanctuary, which was supposed to get cleared in this process, and all the online clearances. If you just follow the paper debate, the newspaper debate, last week, National Board of Wildlife, which is chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, has given a lot of clearances. And there was a debate and series of articles which came. As late as today, Times of India has, Dr. Batra, an article by India's most celebrity lawyer, Harish Salve, that how much PIL had changed the landscape of environment in this country, and how much it has contributed like no other country in the world. So my suggestion is, that we inculcate and we go back to the school, go back to the media, and media plays a big role. And Anurag is personally so committed to sustainability that if we educate our children, we'll protect more species. If we educate our children, they will protect more forests. If we educate our corporates, they will have sustainability first or a pre-positioning of sustainability. And lastly, I will also say that if you're sustainable, it will be paying in the long run.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mishra, for your comment. You know, as you said, the panel is rightly represented by all stakeholders. I'll go to Mr. Mehta and ask the same question. Why do you think it's an imperative for us to really do deep imperatives and deep initiatives in the sustainability space as a way of life to survive in the future?
Very good afternoon to everybody and all the panelists. Good to be with you. And I would say that, see, when we are in the business and the practicing business people, I mean, we always think that the sustainability is the bottom line. To my mind, to sustain the bottom line, unless we ensure the sustainability of all the stakeholders. And when we are talking about all the stakeholders, I would say that the nature and the environment is the foremost one stakeholder, because unless we protect that, we cannot ensure the sustainability of the top line as well as the bottom line. So I would say that what happened is that we have been compromising for ages on the sustainability aspect, because at one point of time, when you need to see and when you need to achieve that competitiveness in the businesses, sometimes what happens is that whatever is necessary you do for competitiveness, but at that time you tend to ignore what is not required in the short and medium term, because most of the time the approaches have been the short term and the medium term approaches. For the long term, I personally believe that unless we ensure the sustainability of all the stakeholders in the businesses, we cannot have a sustainable, profitable growth and sustainable top line. I'll just give you one example, because the myth all the time that the paper industry is destroying forest or doing or indulging in the deforestation. Yes, it was right maybe 20 years back or 15 years back, because that time the paper sector did not bother to see that we have a sustainable source of raw material. And that realization has of late come. In fact, from last 15-20 years, most of the paper players have been doing the good amount of plantation. In fact, the green cover improvement in the country, partly because of the plantation activities being done by the paper sector. If you talk about the paper industry, I mean, I can talk about the JK paper. We are the wood positive all the time. From last 15 years, our average plantation is more than what I need for the raw material sourcing. And in fact, we have been taking care of the farmer. We are taking care of all other areas. Not a single tree has been used from the forest. Everything is planted on a farm forestry model. In fact, we plant more than what we need. And that is, I'm saying that it is nothing great we are doing. It is must we should do. And that's the need of the hour. We have been upgrading the technologies. In fact, we have been investing so heavily in the technology so that we reduce the consumption of water, we reduce the consumption of fossil fuel, and these are all necessary for sustainability. In fact, the competitiveness will come if you are producing with the sustainability approach. And today, the JK Paper is the most profitable company in the paper sector, despite ensuring that we are sustainable in every sphere of our need. So
thank you, Mr. Mehta. I'll come back to you. In fact, in the morning, we had Peepal Baba with us. As you know, he's planted more than 25 million trees. And when we were speaking, he was in Kanpur or Lucknow getting another 1,200 acres land from the government to convert it into forests. So really, we know how much trees have a role to play in better air, and overall balancing the ecological system that we have. Let me go to Ruchi Rastogi, who's the founder, director of Hunar Haat. What I said was that, as Mr. Mehta said and Mr. Mishra said, sustainability is not something we discuss at the board level. It's done on this, it's one of the things that we do, right? But Mr. Mehta said that sustainability is at the core of their strategy to grow their company. And he talked about how they plant more trees. What I'm asking you is, what are your opening comments on how sustainability can become a way of life? Everything we do, we look at carbon footprint, we look at how, if we consume products and services, what is the sustainability chain? So what are your opening remarks in terms of making sure that sustainability is an imperative for a better and safe future?
So Anurag, what I feel is, like, as an individual, if we go for a single person, from individual to a family level, अगर एक बंदा sustainability पे बात करता है, हम लोग अगर
I'll come back to you, Suchi. Saurabh, you heard the first three panelists saying what they have said. What are your opening remarks?
Thank you, Business World. Thank you, Dr. Batra and Gauri Saneed, for giving an opportunity. For me, sustainability is like a rainy day with a bright sun in the sky and a triple rainbow. So where the triple rainbow is basically your environment, which is the planet, and then we have the society, which comprises of people, and the economics, which is something to do with profits. So to get a confluence of all these three things, it's a pretty difficult task. So it is important that rather than thinking about sustainability, we should start thinking about how we would like to see ourselves tomorrow. And from all the learnings that we have had yesterday and in the past, and can we improve on those the experiences and the learnings? Because as a human being, I always tend to look at things, analyze them, and try to do better. So if we can take those baby steps, I'm sure one day we can see that triple rainbow, and we should all be happy contributing towards a better future for our next generations. So that is my opening comment about sustainability. And if you have any other questions, I can answer them as well.
Good. If we can have Ruchi and Mariam. Mariam, if your connectivity is better, we can get you back. Sustainability can be a way of life, and corporates not doing just lip service to sustainability.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I would like to start it by saying that sustainability has to be more deep than surface level. While I say that, I mean businesses are it's about a take and throw away culture, which needs to change. And instead of that, we should look at circularity, like everything should be within the business. Each organization must be responsible for their product. Each organization must be responsible for what they're making. And there should be a proper product liability within the business. And I feel that's how is the future way to be able to back up sustainability within terms of the business.
We lost you again. Ruchi, we can get you to make your opening comment.
So we at Hunar Foundation are working at sustainable model.
Hunar means the craft, shafa.
So, Hunar means a skill. And I'm from Hunar Foundation, and we are working with women of urban slums, rural areas, people with disabilities. We are training them on making products out of wastages, out of so many upcycle products which we are making natural eco-friendly products. So we are working on sustainability at very grassroots level, making them sustainable to take responsibility towards the environment, towards their house, towards their family. So we are working at a very base level on this sustainability issue.
Thank you. That's good comment. I'll come back to Saurabh. Saurabh, you talked about that it's a way of life daily. Now, right. you have an organization called Green Bandhu. Now, yes. There are enough certifications of There is LEED certification. We at Business World are doing India's most sustainable companies. We've been talking about companies having sustainability as part of their balance sheet in a financial way. Tell us, when you interact with corporates, what are the good things that you see and what are not so good things that you see?
Unfortunately, corporates, they look at compliances. Okay. So when you start looking at
They
compliance,
look at it as a compliance.
yeah, they're looking at it's a checkbox.
Strategic imperative.
Yeah, it's so yeah, so that's the problem. You see, the system is designed in such a manner that anybody who is trying to do something genuine requires, finances, requires support, requires knowledge, and it's a continuous process. Okay, only then
Absolutely.
you can achieve your goals. But the timeline with which the corporates function, and and I would thank COVID for that to slow them down a little bit, and you can see around yourself what's the difference it has made. So the timeline has to be, realistic. It can't be like, we need to finish this project quickly. We need to get those compliances done. We need to get those certifications done. And if you say so, it is possible to do that. But then you would not really do justice to what we're trying to do. And that's another challenge which we're facing today, that there's a certain, agencies and corporates and companies who have mushroomed, who are trying to do this on a fast track. Okay, it's like a crash course, IIT crash course. You're just going to do it and you're going to.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So see, nature has its own ways.
Right.
So when you talk about waste management or you talk about water management, you have to understand nature. You have to understand the way the nature functions. And I think we are fortunate to see it in a very, I would say unfortunate manner. But now that we have seen how the Ganges are, pristine clean, how our roads can be, free of garbage, how the sky can be brighter, how we can see a rainbow, a triple rainbow on a rainy day, and we can breathe the air which we would like to breathe in our lifetime. I think we have the factors, we have the, the results in front of us. We just have to now understand and work towards it. So compliances, certifications, maybe, in the next world, not in this world. We need really people to understand and create something for the next generation, which I mean, which is something which, is the real karma, right? For all of us to be part of.
It makes a difference. It makes a negative impact if we don't do it.
Exactly.
Example on that.
Yeah.
Right? Coming back to Mr. Mehta, you're also the president of the Paper Manufacturers Association. You are, of course, a director at JK and a president. When you talk to smaller players, see, bigger organizations can do because they have resources, they can hire a head of a sustainability, they also need to do it. But when you talk to small and medium players within your ecosystem, do you think they understand sustainability and they think like you?
See, in fact, you are dot on that point, and in fact, sustainability for them is a word which does not exist in the dictionary. I mean, as far as those people are concerned, for them, production of a tonnage and sale of that tonnage in the market at whatever rate they are able to sell is their objective. And in fact, they don't understand. What happens is that in fact, the implementation at the grassroots level is also such a difficult proposition. In fact, if you think this way, that lot of water pollution and the effluent discharge by those people, I mean, if you just see the water they discharge in the water bodies, I mean, you can't think of, because they have no water treatment. They have nothing. So that is one area, to my mind, in time to come, when the consolidation happens in the industry, when these people upgrade the technology, either they are incentivized to upgrade the technology, or there is a consolidation.
That they won't be relevant or efficient.
Unless they are forced upon, I don't think they are going to do. So we need to have a very transparent and firm enforcement of those things for those players is must.
Interesting. Now, paper, as you know, comes from trees, and he shared that they plant more trees. But there is always, Mr. Mehta, I want to ask you a real question.
Yes.
There is always skepticism about what corporations say and what they do. I'm not saying sometimes it can be misplaced. And a lot of corporations do the right thing in the right manner for the right reason. But, you know, a lot of them do it very superficially. They do it, as Saurabh said, tick mark, compliance. Tell us, why should organization, what are the benefits that you reap by doing it as a strategy, as an integral part of your business operations? Give us some real insights.
Absolutely. I would be very happy and glad to tell you that I must say that I was new to the paper sector. Before that, I used to handle the other businesses in the group. And when I came in the paper business, in fact, the first thing I thought is that I must honestly admit that 10 years back, a business head would never spend time on sustainability or a plantation. I mean, never went to the field where the plantation is being done. In fact, when first time as a president and director, I told my plantation team that I want to go to the field where the plantation is being done. In fact, they were also amazed. What is this? The president and director is asking to go to the field to see the plantation. I am telling you, and I can take on oath that what I'm saying is that it needs an ideological and paradigm shift in the mind of the business leader. And when I'm saying that I'm good positive, I mean, it is a certified thing that I'm good positive. Because what we do is that we track everything. How many plantation, how many saplings we have distributed? What is the survival rate? What is the growth? And when are we going to harvest? And so everything is computerized and everything is on the system available today. Every farmer record is available in my system, that how many saplings I have given and how many I have harvested. So that kind of a commitment is needed. But I can tell you that this an initiative has reached and given advantage to JK Paper where I'm just telling you that 10 years back, I mean, our operating profit used to be somewhere around 17-18% and it came down to 10-12%. And when we started doing this initiative in a very focused manner with a sincere commitment, and we are the best operating profit and operating margin company today. And that's the only reason that whatever wood you need, you get wood from your own farmer. You don't have to depend upon the other people, and the farmers are far more happier. In fact, we track the income of the farmer. And what we do is that we make a comparative statement for a farmer that if he does paddy, cotton, this, that, what is his net income? And when he is doing a plantation with us, what is his net income? So that way the engagement and the partnership with the farmer, and that is the reason that on an average 15,000 hectare of plantation every year after year, when you do, I mean, you have the business sustainability and the true advantage in long term.
Thank you for taking us through that thought process and the benefits that you reap by not doing lip service, but actually making part of your integral operations. Ruchi, you heard both Saurabh and Mr. Mehta. Now, when you take the produce of these artisans, or you said you go to slums and you work with women there, do you see the CEOs, the promoters, the senior top management in some way welcoming you with open arms? Or it doesn't matter to them that, only the price matters? Tell us a little bit about that.
So there are every kind of people available in the market. Sometimes we have to first create the social awareness about the products which we are making. Like out of newspapers, we are making a lot many of products, wall clock or pen holder, many other things. So all these products which we are making are not harming nature in any way. And it is adding up to the revenue or the source of income to some marginalized people. So we have to, in most of the cases, we have to give awareness about the product, about the models, and considering the difficulty, the actual ground level difficulty of entering into a company and convincing the team of buying the products is really difficult. But yes, there are 10% of the organization which welcome us of the theme on which we are working.
Good. You know, Saurabh, there is a gentleman called Akash Jao. He's saying sustainability does not reflect across urban spaces. Though I know you come more from agriculture, farming, that kind of background. But I'm sure you can address this larger question. And if we have Mariam's connection back, we can get Mariam also. Mariam, do we have you back with your audibility? Not sure we have her back, but so Saurabh, you can add. You heard Mr.
We
Mehta.
don't have her back.
We have her back?
No, we don't have.
Okay. So Saurabh, and you heard Ruchi, you heard Mr. Mehta say what
Right.
they said.
Yes.
Give us your real insight. Give us one or two anecdotes.
Right. See, I like to say something about Green Bandhu. Okay. So we were founded or established in 2008, and at that point in time, the reason we came into being was that we wanted to redefine the word called waste. And Ruchi kept on mentioning one important thing. She said product. Okay. So, so what is waste? I think there's nothing called waste. There's nothing which is, equal to waste. Everything is a product, and a product that we are trying to help it reach its life or its end of life. Okay. So for example, so you had a banana. So the banana peel is a product that is covering the banana, protecting the banana so that it doesn't rot, right? And it saves it from all the germs and infections and so on and so forth. So the banana peel has to have its end of life. So how does it? By going back to the soil. Now a human being or the generator of that waste, the human, hear me out. So I am a person who is having that banana, okay? So I am the one who is an enabler who is trying to take that banana peel back to its. Everything which we are saying is a waste is actually a product, and the waste generator, in my opinion, is an enabler, a facilitator who is trying to do a karma. See, we go to a temple and we try to ask the God, whosoever it is, or thank the God for certain things that they've done for us. I think, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I have also created a temple. And my temple is a waste management facility where I can enable Dr. Batra and Ruchi and Dr. Mehta to bring their waste and see that it reaches its end of life without polluting the environment, without polluting the nature. So that's the way we can, it's a very pious thing to do. So if you start thinking in that manner, if you start looking at all our establishments as institutions of, something that gives back to nature, then we are all going to work together in creating a sustainable environment, creating an earth that we would like to see our children live in. And we would not be really worrying about our rivers getting polluted, our soil getting polluted, our air getting polluted. So we all need to work together. We all need to innovate ourselves, trying to see whatever we are generating in our life at our home, it reaches its end of life. And if that happens, then I think we have given back to nature and we have stopped polluting the environment, the earth that we are living in. And that's the best thing that we can expect from everybody.
Yeah,
So
the whole idea of sustainability dialogue is we are a CXO magazine read by CEOs, promoters, CXOs.
Right.
Our site has a 30+ million monthly readership. Other sites put together another 20. So we reach out to 50 million plus people a month of CXO kind. So it's a bridge between sustainability and business. So the whole idea is to raise the consciousness.
Yes.
You know, Rome was not built in a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you know, that's why you try to put together an eclectic bunch of people, but bring corporates in. We started with the MD and CEO of Blue Star Air Conditioning. We end with an automaker in between, Pankaj Munjal. Yeah, from the whole ecosystem, you had Gauri moderating a session, you had Ashutosh Joshi moderating a session on recycling, you had Minya Chatterjee moderating a session on sustainability. So I think we've been able to bring the right leader. I would like to end this panel by getting closing remarks. I'll start from Mr. Mehta, go to Rishi, and then come to Saurabh. Mr. Mehta, your closing remarks on way forward. How do you see sustainability getting more important in the next 12 months? What are the parameters that we will look at and say, hey, it has happened?
See, I would say that, till this time, we have been talking more on the sustainability from a business perspective, like the raw material availability or the water availability. But I would say that we need to travel beyond even the water and the wood. We need to travel beyond. And in fact, we have been working with the government and otherwise that how do we ensure the sustainability beyond our own plantation? Can I contribute in sustainability of the jungle forest? I mean, how do I contribute in
community?
Absolutely.
There I say you are JK, but you know, all Indian promoters in JK is a very big group, old group. Tata's with Jamshedpur did sustainability much before anybody talked about sustainability because they nurtured the ecosystem.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we need to extend this and work in the community and the whole ecosystem on the sustainability.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Ruchi, your final comments?
So I want to say that we Indians are very ahead of our life. The easy peasy way of life that come with Western culture has less advantages. And if you look at the sustainability, our Indian way of life is more sustainable. Now it's our time to introduce our way of living to the world. And with Modi government who are trying to refurbish our systems and processes, introducing policies and schemes to skill India, supporting startups, I think it's the right time for India to shine. So we are importing packets of ideas in a glossy paper, but if you dig into it, you will find that they have learned that from us only. On this Environment Day, I will say that the power of nature is immense. It has a great absorption power also. But whatever nuisance and menace we have created, it has absorbed. But after that, there is a limit. And when it rejuvenates itself and get refurbished, it will get very devastating. So we have to think within, inside out, not outside in.
Beautiful. And last but not least, Saurabh Bardhan, I'm very jealous of you because you have long hair and I have none. Couple of kinds of people. To some he gave hair, to some he gave brains. People like you, both hair and brains. People like me, no hair, no brain.
Oh no, come on. I mean, you should give all respect to your, your work that you do, and in a very short time you have gathered all these people to put up this wonderful show. See, as you rightly said, Dr. Batra, what is sustainability in a very simple term? There are three pillars. So we have the environment, which is the nature. We have the society, people, and we need, finances. We call them profits. So the corporates, of course, they will do well after COVID-19. It will take some time, but they should start investing their profits, through the CSR programs in a very genuine manner. And the society consists of good people. See, India is a country where there are a lot of good-hearted people, hardworking people, a farmer, a waste collector, a sweeper. They all are ready to work on the ground. So with finances, with the society's involvement, people's involvement, and the people who are working on the ground, if all of these three things can come together, I think we can create a far better India. For our next generations, for ourselves, and that would be my request to all the gentlemen and ladies on this panel as well as other panels.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. On this point, we wish you luck in your endeavors because what you do makes a difference. And thank you, Mr. Mehta. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Ruchi. Mariam, sorry we got disconnected. I'm sure one of these days we can get you again back and hope to engage with you on many more BW initiatives. And we wish you luck. Thank you so much.